Ahsoka Tano went from being a hated character to one of the most beloved character in all of Star Wars, and that, I would say, is most impressive. Today we'll be looking at 7 reasons of why that happened. Number 1, her characteristics, and basically just like her personality and who she is as a character. She is smart and she eventually grows up to have a sort of wisdom. She is also witty, she's kind, she's compassionate. She's just a likable person. But even if she does have all these good qualities, she's not perfect. She still has her own struggles. When we first meet her, she is very confident. She wants to prove herself and show everyone how good she is. And her personality also matches quite well with Anakin's and Obi-Wan's. And just the way her personality works in a dynamic in the Clone Wars, it just works really well. And it's a delight to watch her in the Clone Wars. Number 2, her character design. And here I'm mostly speaking about like her face, so like her expressiveness. She just has a very, expressive face. Does that make any sense? I don't know exactly how to say this, but like you can like see the emotions on her face quite well. I think I need to rephrase that. I mean, like if you think about Ahsoka in the Clone Wars, you pretty much immediately think of all these like faces that she makes. She's just, a very expressive character. And then another part of the character design is her outfits, excluding the tube top that was a bit weird, but everything else, they are just like iconic outfits pretty much. And actually, when talking about character design, like the visual aspect of it, I'm mostly talking about Clone Wars Ahsoka. I have some issues with Rebels Ahsoka, but we're not gonna get into that here. That's a topic for another time. And then just like her colors, her Montrals being white and blue, and her like orange skin with the white markings, it just works really well, I think. It's just all around very successful character design. Number 3, her fighting style. Like, come on. She is just so cool. First of all, dual wielding, and then just the way that she moves, how fast and agile she is, and the inclusion of all the acrobatics and all that. And it also sets her apart from a lot of the other Jedi that we see. There are so many just so cool scenes with her. The first one always that comes to my mind is the one from the episode when she is with the Death Watch and then she just jumps and cuts the heads off all the Mandos around her. Like, come on. Pretty much any fight scene that Ahsoka is in is just bound to be great. And I guess this is also kind of part of the character design aspect part of her, but it deserves to be its own point because it is such a big thing, at least for me, I think. She's just so cool. The way she fights is just incredibly cool and so fun to look at. Number 4, her character development in the Clone Wars. And this is a big one, or this is the big one. She's just a very well-written character. The way she evolves and changes is just done in a very natural way. And her character arc in the Clone Wars is that of a child growing into an adult. The Ahsoka we meet in the Clone Wars movie thinks she knows everything and just wants to prove herself. But she quickly realizes that is not the case, and she's humbled, and eventually, of course, her story takes a drastic turn when the order that she put all of her trust in suddenly turns its back to her and basically abandons her. And she has to make the very mature decision actually to leave the order. But the way that she grows up during the Clone Wars is just something like people can relate to. Either you're like me and you watched the Clone Wars when you were a child or a teenager and you could relate to that journey of growing up in that moment, or then you were older but you can probably still look back at your early teenage days and see yourself in her in a way. And the things that she faces and the emotions she has to deal with are things that most of us can relate to. Number 5, an empowering female character done right. See all the previous points. Basically, Ahsoka is just an appealing character to everyone, not just to girls and women. There are many boys who also find Ahsoka to be their favorite character. Some may have, other reasons, but mostly it is because she is just such a good character. And obviously Star Wars has some very iconic female heroes, obviously Leia and Padme as well. But both of these characters, even though yes, they are very strong and good, role models and all that, they're not fighters in the way that Ahsoka is. Ahsoka is a warrior, she is a soldier. I just have to underline this fact that, Ahsoka, even though, yes, she is an empowering female character, that is not her purpose. She has a specific reason to be in the story, and the reason is not to be a strong female character. Like, that is pretty important, because nowadays you'll find sometimes the only purpose of a character is for them to just represent a certain thing. Number 6. Her importance in Anakin's story. So I kind of already talked a bit about this, but like, she has a specific purpose as a character, and her purpose is to add onto Anakin's story and add onto Anakin's fall to the dark side pretty much. Obviously, she is very, very important to Anakin. What happens to her, how the Jedi Order treats her, is honestly a big part of Anakin's fall as well. There is that one unfinished Clone Wars arc, which I would have loved to see. What is it called? Crystals of Utapau? But basically there Anakin and Obi-Wan discuss like Anakin's feelings about Ahsoka leaving and how he feels guilty for that. Just like very important things that I wish we would have seen in the Clone Wars Season 7, but we got the Martez sisters instead. We all love the Martez sisters, so I think it's not a problem. So Ahsoka's biggest purpose as a character is to be a part of Anakin's character arc. She adds so much to his story, and maybe she, should have died at the hands of Vader on Malachor, but that is a discussion for another time. The fact that she is such an integral part of the Skywalker saga, I would say, is pretty impressive. And also just the fact that for a very short moment Ahsoka got through to the Anakin Skywalker that was still inside of Vader. Then lastly, number 7, she is a good role model. And again, not just for girls and women, but for everyone pretty much. She is just a good person and she is selfless. She strives to do what's best for others. And we see her going from this very confident child to becoming a great warrior and a great leader for others. It is just quite inspirational. Maybe not the right word, but you get what I mean. And honestly, I think that Ahsoka is kind of the ideal Jedi. Some might want to call her a great Jedi or something like that, but we're not going to get into the great Jedi discussion now. That's for another time. She follows the Force, the light side of the Force, but she follows the Force. And she has, attachment. She has empathy, she has compassion, but she doesn't let those things rule her. She is still in control of her emotions in a way, or it's kind of like she lets the emotions that are reasonable have an effect on her, but not emotions that are unreasonable. Does this make any sense, or is it getting too philosophical? And of course, her story isn't done yet, which I am a bit worried about, not gonna lie. She is such a beloved character to so many people. I hope they do her justice. But if they don't, then at least we can always go back and watch the Clone Wars over and over again. I mean, I'll do that anyway, but, I hope this was some sort of video. What did I just say? I hope this was some sort of video. Yeah, I hope it was. If you like this video, then I am sure you will also like this one. It's a certified hood classic, if you know what I mean.